words, we're fighting words. This is war. This is what you asked me for. This is war. And my words are swords. Words sharp as knives seem to cut me up and tear me apart.
in the world is going on YouTube? Thank you, PlayStation, for making my show super easy tonight. Rather, thank you, Sony. Sony makes the show that I'm doing, or PlayStation makes the show that I'm doing next week or tomorrow night super easy. Anyways, Sony came out today. They said some cool stuff. Mainly, I care about the gaming side of it, so we'll kind of dive into that. Shout out to Josh for getting me Zubitech's link, and then shout out to Zubitech for all the slides. Um, I got to watch the most important part of the presentation where we heard Herman Hulst speaking on PlayStation games and on PC games and PlayStation titles going to PC, and I loved it. He was very clear, clean cut in exactly what he meant to say. Uh, and so I like that. It was actually one of the things I point out in the Discord was that I was super, super happy that he didn't mix his words. He listen, it is what it is. We don't want to cannibalize PlayStation sales, so we're going to put games on PC to entice them to come buy the sequel or buy the PlayStation to play the sequel. Uh, because when they play it, they're going to want to play the sequel, so they buy a PlayStation. It's the same thing that they've done with all of their stuff. Why do they have PS Plus in place? It's to promote the sales of their games. It's to get that rain down effect. And they also do that with their console sellers. They're big AAA first party narrative driven games. And so really loved that or the question and answer section right there. Loved everything I heard today from it, and can't wait to dive into that. Also, Call of Duty is going to be going on Game Pass. Um, I have questions, and I I asked one of the questions today to the guys, and I we only have two options as to what's going on, but we'll get into that. Also, Hogwarts Legacy. If y'all know my channel, I was a huge fan of that game. Feel like that game should have won Game of the Year, or at least should have been nominated. It actually sold more copies last year than Call of Duty, beating out Call of Duty, which hasn't been done a ton of times before in the past. So Hogwarts Legacy 2, some rumors on where they might take the story and maybe another area they might be opening up. So just wanted to talk about that a bit. I love that game. PlayStation gives us a state of play tomorrow. You can go check and see when it is. Somebody asked in the Discord, Nelson asked if I was going to be live streaming it, and sadly, no. I might do a quick reaction show tomorrow after I get home, get the kids to bed, so kind of a late night deal. But I actually expect to be satisfied. I don't expect to be like blown my socks off, but I do expect to be satisfied. I expect that they're going to give us the next 3 or 4 months, carrying us through the summer, and then after that, we're done. We're good. Uh, and so, yeah, super excited about that. Can't wait for that. And then we are going to talk about some of the PlayStation goals, some of the things that kind of correcting some of the stuff that's been said over the past several weeks about uh, PlayStation's not really profitable. They're in danger. They're this. They're that. And so we're just going to kind of break down once again some of those slides from Zubitech and talk about that. Really, the only Xbox news is that they still suck, and they are going to be putting Call of Duty on Game Pass, and we will cover that. But because they're kind of wallowing in their own self excrements, yeah, that's a nice way to say that. Because they're doing that, there's really not much new to talk about with them, but I thought this story deserves some credence. And with that being said, guys, I want to say welcome to the playground. And speaking of the playground, we have a playground partner reward system here. It's where y'all reward me for effort. No, just kidding. But I had no other way to intro that. Anyways, and so with that, I do want to shout out all of the people who have taken part in becoming a supporter of the channel. Some of y'all got gifted, some of y'all did this on your own. Truly appreciate it. So, just at the beginning of the show, I just want to say thank y'all for that. That's awesome. Still working on some of the names here, some of the fonts, some of the backgrounds, but I wanted to have this last week, and because I felt like absolute dog crap last week, I did not. And so I got it done, and yeah, so you can look at the names up there, guys. They are essentially the reason why this channel is going to be able to keep doing video game reviews. And I don't know if y'all haven't noticed or not, but video games are not really dropping in price as fast as they used to. So I'm having to expand a little bit in what I review and things like that. I have a review coming out. Um, I have a review in progress coming out of Diablo 4 because I found that on a really stupid sale. So I am working through the game and I'm collecting information right now is the best way I can say it on the review for the game itself. And so yeah, I got that coming out, but guys, y'all make it happen. And so I appreciate it. Holy crap, Stephen Leon with the 10 member gifted. That is insane. Gene got hit. Toolman, you got sniped, dude. You was just watching. Rumen, Straight Ched. Can't say that. Thank you. Jack Bast, Chris Coleman, Paco King, Rumble 8, J942. That's awesome. Let me know about the soup. What soup? What soup? Swinging for the fences. Thrifty Outsider Gaming is picking on me. That's hilarious. All right, let's go and let's bring in. Well, let's not bring in Will. Um, hello. Okay. Well, technical difficulty. I'm sure he'll be back. Um, and so yeah, that kind of threw me off. This is typically where I would talk to him and ask him questions and all that. How long have I Hogwarts Legacy 2, how long have I been at work? You've been at work a long time, bro. A long time. It is 3 years in the future. And now we have Hogwarts Legacy 2. Uh so no, he was here earlier. I had done a thing where I silenced chat, and so like if he coughed or something like that during the intro or during the music, nobody can hear it. Figured out how to do that, and so I was trying to do that cool thing where like you bring them in after all of that, and whoops. And I need to make sure you can hear me. I have a setup as well. I have a setup as well. He called me Bucko. I have a setup as well there, Bucko. Where did he go? All right. Well, no, he's not napping, guys. I'm sure he has a ton of stuff to say tonight. So let me take down the partner program and let me put back up the. What did I take down? Yeah, it was the chat. There we go. All right. So we'll start with the first one. I know that if Will was here, he does. Whoops. There it is. Uh, if Will was here, he'd probably be kind of excited about what they're going to do with the next game. But Hogwarts Legacy 2. So, Hogwarts Legacy is a great game. Said that in the intro. I think it is one of the absolute best games that we have from last year. God, that was last year. Why does that feel like so long ago? But, anyways, we have probably one of the best games that with the especially with the movie IP, in my opinion. And so I really do uh, try to kind of follow what's going on with that world. So here's basically what we have. We have just a quick article from Game Rant. Nothing, nothing too incriminating. but it does give us at least a brief look into the fact of kind of the locations they're looking at going to. So Legacy may have a bigger Hogwarts Legacy may have a bigger world than its predecessor, especially since the developers will be looking to build upon the latter's success. Hogwarts Legacy was largely focused on the Grand Castle, Hogsmeade, and the Forbidden Forest, and the surrounding highlands. But there are few instances where players got to venture out. The Azkaban quest, a Hufflepuff exclusive, is the one that springs to mind. And yet, players couldn't do much except walk down the corridor, look into occupied cells, or go and open up a cutscene. And so, long and the short of it, they are thinking about letting us go into Azkaban prison. Which, you know, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of exciting. Because if y'all played the kind of the ghostly mission or whatnot, that was it was the PlayStation exclusive mission. If y'all played that, that was actually kind of fun. And so I really think that if they kind of lean hard into that and make that like a section of the game where it's like this constant tonal shift, I think that that would be super awesome. But what do y'all think? What's y'all's thoughts on that? Do y'all think because this year feels like an eternity? Yes, that is absolute truth. Bucko was old people speak. I know it well. That's funny. I I don't know if I pissed him off or if he thought I was ignoring him or what. But he might had to get his kid to bed. That's generally what happens. He has to get his kid to bed. I am overthinking everything today, which is good for me because the rest of the gaming journalists, and I'm not a journalist, but the rest of those guys, they don't overthink shit, and so we see that with all the past 3 weeks. Hey, Will's here. Will, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Thrifty. How are you?
Hey, man. Let me make sure everybody can hear you. Yes, I'm sure they can. Dude, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of things. Right now I'm playing World War II Rebuilder, Cities from the Ashes. Um, I've been playing a little bit of Metro, a little bit
Ooh,
of
which
this
one?
War of Mine. The first one, Redux,
Oh,
2033.
2033 is so good.
Yeah, really good game.
Have you gotten to the
Beat
spider levels?
no, not yet. I'm still like in the first hour of the game. I beat it a few times already. It's one of those comfort, games. Just kind of went back into that one because I just feel like playing a shooter. And me and Nelson played some Outriders on Sunday,
Hell
and
yeah.
I kind of just wait for him to get back on that one. And beat Hellblade 2 a few days ago. And yeah, that's what I've been gaming on.
Heck yeah, man. Did you play Hellblade 2 on PC or Xbox?
Xbox. Yeah,
X
I
or
don't
S?
believe X.
How was it? How did it look?
Oh, it's a pretty game. Really, really pretty. It's just that's it. The combat is not really there. I mean, they give you the option of like a regular melee and heavy melee, but you don't really need them because they do the same thing, and that's the extent of the combat. Really, it's just what is it on Xbox? X and Y. Y is the heavy and X is the regular. But that's it, man. I mean, there's not really much to it. There's no HUDs whatsoever in the game. So you don't know, there's no way to regain your health or it, all the stuff that you know about video games is completely gone with this game. So it's, when people talk about movie games, this is what they mean right here. When I hear the word movie games, is exactly what they mean. It just didn't it's it's pretty close to a graphic novel game. Like like what do you call those games? Like the Evil Within, not the Evil Within. Just those decision-based games. That's kind of what it feels like, but without the decisions, those games have more gameplay than Hellblade 2. It's a weird,
So like
weird
Detroit
game, but it
Become
looks pretty.
Human, Heavy Rain, and all that.
well, those games you have control of your character. I mean, in Hellblade 2, you'll be in the middle of quote unquote combat, and they'll just throw a cutscene, or animation in the middle of your fight, and then lets you continue. Like, I would say 70% of the time, I didn't even know if I was actually fighting, like if I was in control of my character. Like I didn't know. I was just pushing X the whole time and the left stick up to move. That's it. And occasionally I would push I don't know, O on PlayStation or circle on PlayStation, whatever that letter is for Xbox, to try to dodge. Oh, and the Xbox equivalent of R1. That is what you use to block R1, I think, or L1. I don't know. It's just a weird game, man. It, it's not a video game how you know video games to be.
Sounds awful. It just the way you're describing it just sounds awful. Like it's like I'm going to a 6-hour movie. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, basically, I mean, it's very linear, of course. It's a very like direct path you can take. There's a little bit of kind of going off-roading to get these. They're not collectibles, but I guess they could be categorized under that. Um, and that's it. You don't get anything for that. You don't. It's like watching a movie, man. It really is. You have a story, a middle, and an end. It I don't even like I was dumbfounded, and all the people that have been saying, the combat is the equivalent of the first or better than the first. Those people officially are not video gamers. They're just not, because there's no way you can't compare that to the very first game. I mean, the very first game, you can do a run and hit, you actually dodge, you fought multiple bad guys at the same time, you traverse. This game, you don't do none of that stuff. It's the least they could have done is at least maintain what they did with the first, not make any upgrades, just maintain what they had, and this game would have been 10 times better. But they actually downgraded. I feel like they invested all the money in making it look good, and the last 6 months of development, they were like, oh, hey, maybe we should add like some sort of sword play in here or somewhere, And that's what the game felt like.
Mm, yuck. That's just, the more you're
But hey,
describing it,
you
like
ask.
I did ask. It sounds awful. Oh, way to take one for the team. Like,
I recommend everybody to check it out. Actually, I recommend you have a PC. I recommend you check it out yourself. I think this would be a perfect PC game because you literally only need four buttons. So, you can program the arrow up, arrow left, arrow right, keys to basically program your moving up, your block and then hit. And that's a perfect keyboard game to me because you can only use four buttons to do this whole game. But I recommend it because I've never experienced anything like that in my life.
ugh, ew. So, uh, Hogwarts Legacy, do you have any thoughts on kind of what you want to see from the game? There's a new thing coming out saying that Azkaban will more than likely be um a new section that's coming out in the game for us to explore, kind of the same world, but they're going to add more segments of that world. Uh, do you have any do you have any excitement about a Hogwarts Legacy 2? Do you have any care? Do you not care? What do you think?
I don't care about Hogwarts itself, but I do care about the game itself. I do care. I mean, that team that made that game did such I mean, I, I can't give them enough praise on how well they made that game. I mean, I've spoken to people that love Harry Potter, um, and they love it just for the Harry Potterness of the game. But then as a gamer myself, I appreciate it so much because I mean there was no bugs, the game was complete, it was polished to perfection, it was very creative, the art style was phenomenal. I mean just the foundation of a video game and building it from there, what's there. they should be teaching classes, on how to make video games because that team is just phenomenal at what they do. And that's not even including the writers and the directors and the art, just all those other guys, but just the core engineers who programmed this game and made, your character get on the broomstick and do the fighting with the wands and the magic spells. Like those dudes did such a great job. So anything additional that they do, I'm all open arms for it. And I've always been of the ilk that we should get all the games that they can put out, right? I know a lot of people kind of be like, well, no, we don't want to saturate the market. No, fuck that. Let me decide what saturation is for me. Some people only play one, two, 3 games a year. Not me. This month alone, I'm on pace to finishing 10 video games, 10 games that I beat. I mean, sure, I have games like Hellblade that are like 6 hours long, right? I just beat what game did I just beat that was 2 hours long? Oh, Indica. I just beat that. That was 2 hours long. But I'm on pace to beat 10 games. So I want that saturation, what most people consider. And if it's coming from a team like from that made Hogwarts, hell yeah. And I do remember Azkaban or what was it, Azkaban?
Hmm.
I read a couple of the books when I was in school, and yeah, that would be extremely interesting. I remember the prison being like, me being a kid, being very dark and
It's
like kind of
creepy as shit.
horror-esque. Yeah, yeah, very creepy. That's where all the bad guys are locked up, and they are magical, so that would be interesting. It would be interesting to see how they do it. But as far as like Hogwarts itself, I really don't care. I only got about 6 to 8 hours on the first one. Um, and I will go back to it eventually. But as it being an actual video game, hell yeah. Give them people all the money that they need to make this game and more games in the future.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we don't have to wait 7 years for it. That's kind of it's my only it's
I
my
don't think
only
they
fear.
will. The reason I don't think they will is because they we're halfway through the generation. They can use a lot of the same. I mean, look, we don't need. I think that a reason of why some of these games, and I always like to refer back to like the PS3 and 360 era and PS2 eras, PS1, well, anything besides, before the PS4, where we would get and the Xbox One, we would get trilogies, like we got Gears trilogy, we got the uh basically Halo trilogies or 4 games. We got, just all these games that are known as classics, and we got those. We will be able to finish a trilogy in 4 or 5 years. The Mass Effect games, we got all these games within 4 or 5 years. And a big reason is because they were reusing assets, but also the pace that visuals advanced back then, the generations, they it seems like it was leaps and bounds, but us being the PS4 generation and that leap forward in visuals is diminishing by the year, meaning we're not gonna we're not gonna see a big jump of visual fidelity as great as what we used to see it. I think that it's safe to take a lot of those assets, move them around, get the writing team involved to make it as efficient as possible and put out that game. Just me being a backseat, fan speculating, why not? Why not put it out in just a couple years, But then you see stuff like Elden Ring, they're coming out with their DLC next month. It's taking them what, 2 years for a DLC? So it's like, okay, I just said what I said, right, about reusing assets, but then I'm looking at reality, like what you're saying, you hope it's not 7 years. And I'm like, damn, it took them 2 years to do an Elden Ring DLC, and we've been seeing that a lot where it's been taking 6 months, a year for them to come out with DLCs for games that were successful, right? So I don't know. I hope not. I want my games. I want them now. I don't want to wait 7 years. Who knows where I'll be 7 years?
Facts. Oh man, facts. No, and I agree. I think that that is one thing that I did see the community all get behind on that game was that like even if you take the bullcrap controversy out of it and you just look at it as, hey, this first, so I categorize this game already getting it gets a little bit of a break for me when I talk about it because it's a licensed IP. So as soon as I find out that hey, this is a licensed IP, like, and it's not Insomniac doing it, I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So everybody remembers the old like Superman game from like the N64, I think it was, or the GameCube. Like we didn't really get good. There was, let me rephrase that. There was a little bit in there, like PS1, PS2 era, that we didn't really get good licensed IP titles. It wasn't really until Arkham came out, and I would say Spider-Man 2, and I think both of those are PS3 games. It wasn't really until those games came out that it was very like, oh wow, cool. That can actually be high quality. And so I automatically still, for some reason, if it's a licensed IP, I go like it already gets the expectation gets knocked down a bit. And then I played it, and I was like, man, this game has everything. It it looks good. They were true to the source material. They did not reinvent the wheel. Uh, so for somebody like me who's not a huge fan but still enjoys the movies, uh, it was really cool seeing a lot of those things that were in the movies in the video game as well, and just the level of detail. Warawana even said that they actually ended up like matching the type of wood that was on the bed stands or that was on the nightstands. Like that's freaking crazy. Uh, okay, Josh just corrected me. Arkham is PS3, Spider-Man 2 is PS2. The Lego Lord of the Rings, it's a Lego game though. Like, yes, I get that, but back then when I wanted to play as a superhero, it was very few and far between. Or even if I wanted to play as the Terminator, not even a superhero type film or movie, but a lot of your movie IP games were garbage. They were low budget, low quality. They spent all the money on getting the license and didn't really do much else with it. So I really hope that Hogwarts Legacy 2 comes out. I hope that they keep their greedy fingers off of it and leave out microtransactions and games as a service bullshit. Just give us another great game where people can buy 22 million copies of it in a year. Like, be okay making that kind of money cleanly instead of going and making dirty, filthy money.
Well, they were still working on that Quidditch game too at the time. They made it a big deal of Quidditch not being part of the Hogwarts game. That's because they were gonna do their own thing.
And then they
And
released it. It was like a kids art style game, like a little kid game.
yeah, but I think they were aiming for something at the scope or scale of Hogwarts Legacy, which I hope it still does come out because that I would be probably more interested in that. I mean, I'm buying whatever those guys put out, right? If they can keep up with that same quality and innovation, it doesn't matter whether I want to, I'm super interested in the game or not. I'm still gonna buy it, just because I want to support people like that. Just like how I bought Baldur's Gate 3. Like I hate turn-based games, but what they were doing, especially in the industry that, was everything that's happening with it, I wanted to support them. And what's the best way to support them, or the best way that I know how, and the best way that as gamers should, is purchase the games. And that's why over here at PlayStation and over there at Nintendo, we continuously get games, and other places like Sega and Xbox don't.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were. I thought. Sorry, I thought you were continuing on your thought. My bad. So speaking of things not making sense and people wanting dirty money, we have Call of Duty, the newest one, is going to be on Game Pass day and date. Game Pass has 34 million subscribers, and I use that term a little loosely because that's the number with games with gold that got kind of filtered into Game Pass Core. And I don't think Game Pass Core members get access to all the premium titles day and date. I don't think they do. I could be wrong. I might be wrong. Producer Josh can correct me, or Will, you can correct me. Y'all do it all the time. Oh, speaking of that, before we get on to this, I have to wear something. And it's not the first time I've had to do this, and it's not the first time I've had to say it to this person. I have recently played Diablo 4, and uh, the day that I bought it, I was downloading it on the PlayStation and or uploading it. If it goes from a disc to the thing, it's an upload. Yeah, I was uploading it onto my system, and I was talking to the guys in the Discord, and I had made some statements about some of the things that kept me from Diablo 4. And some of the things that I was told, some of the things that I had listened to from people who talk on YouTube, were just actually completely inaccurate. And so I kind of wrote the game off completely because of that, coupled with everything I feel about Blizzard and that whole situation and the head of Blizzard and the way that they run their IPs and run their marketing and basically just the company as a whole. I don't really like much. So, but a while back, Will had tried to convince me that I was wrong in what I was saying, and I kind of doubled down. And he was like, "Well, I don't really play it for the season, so maybe you're right." He goes, I play it for the story. I don't really do the continued content. Maybe you're right." And he just kind of left it at that. And then come to find out, I was wrong in the way it worked. And so I owe Will a huge apology, and people in the chats after this say that me and Will never know how to admit when we're wrong. We just deflect. I've seen those comments a couple times, and you know what? That's not true. We admit we're wrong all the fucking time. So we also admit we're not experts on subjects too. So, anyways, Will, I owe you that apology, man. I should have taken you at what you said, that my character wouldn't just go poof in the night, and I didn't. And so, yeah, man, you were right. I was wrong.
Nah, it's okay, bro. You're the one who missed out, man, not me. I mean, I did kind of miss out because, I wasn't able to play with you, and I like playing with you guys. So, and I tried playing with you now that you got it, but I don't know I can't connect to you. I don't know, I just don't understand. And I'm not like a big technological guy, and I lose patience quickly. That's a big reason why I don't play on PC, right? Because if I gotta troubleshoot something to play it, bro, I'm gonna give it 5, 10 minutes, an honest, try. But anything after that, I'm just like done. So I've been my curiosity though, I've been paying attention to when you hop on, and you are one of a few guys that I get an alert whenever you guys get online on PlayStation.
Hmm.
So every time that I see you, I'm just tempted to try it again.
Dude, I keep
But I
hoping. Like, I've had people jump in the game and like they do like a little world event with me or whatever, like one of the little elite bosses pop up, and I'm
yeah,
like, and I'm looking like I'm straining to see the screen because I need new glasses, and so I'm straining to see the screen, and I'm like, is that Will? Is that? Oh no,
yeah.
it's Hezekiah. Shit,
Bro,
not
I
Will.
deleted the game after like that. That pissed me off so much. I deleted it. Um, I got so mad at it. You know. But either way, man, yeah, no, I'm glad that you actually finally able to play it. This is the first Diablo game that I've played ever in my life. I mean, I played a little bit of like Diablo 3 and a little bit of Diablo 2 with you actually.
Hmm. And
Which the Diablo 2,
the whole time I had to hear this asshole go, "Man, they did so much better in Diablo
oh
4.
yeah.
They did so much better in Diablo 4." It's a
Yeah.
23-year-old game. I hope they improve some shit, but go ahead.
Oh, I know that. I know. But yeah, that's what right when I beat Diablo 4, I hopped in at Diablo 2. But yeah, I mean, look, with games, and I understand where Thrifty's coming from, right? Because when you love, especially like Thrifty, how Thrifty, I just say your name like 5 times in 2 seconds, how Thrifty feels about Diablo, and what that IP means to him and stuff. I get it, right? You're disillusioned, and you're scared. I don't want to say you're scared, but I'm just using like a figure of speech. Like it's
Let
like
it
the girlfriend who broke your
go.
heart, right? It's like, oh, I'm scared to even like see her at the store because I don't want all these feelings to come back, so I'm just gonna avoid her completely. So I kind of get that aspect, right? And I do that too all the time. But as a gamer, like my main goal, man, is to have fun playing these games, and if even better is to play them with my friends, right? That's why I appreciate being in Discord because we get to talk about games and our opinions about them, whether we like them or not, and hear each other's opinion. So I'm just glad Thrifty got it. And if you guys have a game that you really like, which I do take note, I have a couple on my wish list right now that I'm waiting to go on sale or a deeper sale. I will check them out because I respect all you guys as gamers. I know all you guys are gamers, unlike a lot of these fake bozos that are on YouTube, which is a warning that I want to get Thrifty right. And we will get a little bit more into that later as we talk about the
Yes, we will.
PlayStation forecasting and the state of play tomorrow. But yeah, good job, man. I hope you like it. I'll probably download it again this weekend, give it another try. Because knowing you, you're probably like crawling through every inch of that map, and you probably got like 0.001% of the
So,
campaign done.
so
So
that's
there's
real
still a lot
funny
of work to do.
because you're in the Discord. And I have 14. I messaged earlier the other day. I was like, I have 12 hours played. I'm level
Oh,
25. I have Blizzard maxed out. I have actually all of the skills that I use all maxed out, and I literally have 0% of Act 1 done. And I have the. Oh, so you know how they give you like the world tier stuff where it's like
yeah.
you can do so many things within the world and you get like a little bonus each time you do? Usually gold and experience. Sometimes it's gold and like a skill point. Sometimes just random shit. But, anyways, there's five per like area. And in the first area, I have 3 out of 5 completed already. And so I
See,
haven't done a single lick. I actually, that's not true. I just continued the story and finished the first, not the first section of it, but basically you have to go help this girl find her mom,
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
mom has gone all like weird guy on the chalkboard drawing lines everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I just literally finished that, and now I have
Oh yeah.
two diverging paths that are going to take me to two separate spots of the map that I haven't been to yet, which means I'll get more side quests, which means I'll get lost in that. But Will, when you're on and you see me pop on, does it show whether I'm playing on the Portal or I'm playing on the PS5?
No, it doesn't show you none of that stuff. It just shows you that PS5.
Okay, because I know that when people are like using PSVR 2, you can see that, or when they're using the
Oh yeah.
PS5 or the PS4, you can see that. So I didn't know if it showed like that I was,
No.
and I asked that because I've literally only I played another hour and a half on the TV last night. The rest of the 14 hours I have in that game now, outside of the first hour, because I wanted to see the cinematics on the big TV, and I know Blizzard always starts their Diablo games with hella good cinematics. And so I, uh, outside of that, everything else has been on the portal, and it has been freaking awesome. Slaying demons while sitting there, and my kids are watching True in the Rainbow Kingdom or frickin' The Croods or whatnot. Like, it's phenomenal. I get so much more gaming in now that I have that damn device. I'll lay in bed at night, and where I used to play on my phone for 20, 30 minutes, I'll hop in and go do a dungeon and turn it off and go to sleep. It's so fantastic. So I was just wondering if you could see that because my wife was even like, "So we got this big old TV, and are you gonna use it again?" I was like, Yeah." But honestly, it's nice just picking up the portal, pushing a little button wherever I'm at in the house, and hey, it's there, and I can play it, and there's no lag, and there's no nothing. Yeah, hey, JP Loco, good looking out, man. Hit that like buttonus. So, that note aside, sorry. Call of Duty. And the reason why Call of Duty sparked the Diablo thing was because ABK. It made my ADHD brain made those connections, and I was like, oh yeah, Diablo. Anyways, so Call of Duty is going to Game Pass. Call it 24 million people uh, are going to be getting the game for $18 a month. Thrifty, if you turn your portal off, will it also turn off? No, it does not. That's actually so. What I do is on the portal when I go in, I will turn it to. I'll just exit out of it like by putting the PlayStation in rest mode, and then you'll get a little thing that says you have been disconnected from your PS5. Do you want to reconnect, or you can just press OK? If you press OK, no big deal. You just hit the power off button at the top, and you're good to go. So it's no. Or I've even done it where I've like when I was playing Stellar Blade on it, I'll just hit the top button. It'll turn off. I'll be at like a campsite or whatnot. It'll turn off, and then the PlayStation after however many minutes I have it set for, it goes into rest mode on its own. So no, the portal is absolutely fantastic. RPG 88 with the gifted members. Man, I appreciate it. You and Stephen Leon are going to keep it to where none of these fine folks have to spend any of their own money, and I'm sure they like that. It's the weekly membership drop. That sounds great. The partner pickup. We'll call it RPG's partner pickup. That's right. Okay, RPG, you're here at a good time. Call of Duty on Game Pass. What I've been trying to get through, but keep getting sidetracked because games are fun to talk about. Uh, Call of Duty is a seller. It just freaking is. Like I hate it. It's dumb. I don't like it. I don't like that it's number one most years when it comes out. It bothers me. But the fact is, it's a damn seller. It is a way for game companies, console companies, every company associated with it to literally print money. Twisted Sin, thanks for becoming a partner. I appreciate that. I gotta find a better name for that. Thanks for joining the playground. Thank you. But yeah, so Game Pass is literally a way to cannibalize said money that you would make. Mind you, they don't have to worry about giving ABK 70% of their game because they own this shit now. I can't call it Playmates. I can't. Damn it, I can't. I've, I've thought of that. I've thought of that repeatedly, and I just freaking can't. So, what about the thrifters? It's listen. There's a lot of stuff on the table. Speaking of on the table, Xbox is it's like they're bending themselves over, and like I don't. This is fucking confusing. And so this is what we were talking about today in the Discord. They are either the dumbest SOBs I have ever seen in my life, or they're sabotaging their own company. I don't know which one it is anymore. And people have said on the other side, those YouTube people that Will talks about, people have said that it's going to be okay because they're going to use the difference in the 30% now that they're going to make from PlayStation for each game sale, and they're going to use that to absorb the cost of the difference in the players that they're going to have on Xbox and PC for Game Pass. Not a terrible idea. You know what? I can't even fault them for it. Not a terrible idea. But
Stupid. I swear I can't take these guys serious, man. They're just so dumb. Look, the bottom line is for
Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
talk to you guys, the chat. This is for you,
Well,
chat.
fuck you too, Will.
Well, you don't have an Xbox. This is for you,
No, I
chat.
don't.
Or you have a PC, so you too, Thrifty, because you qualify.
Sure.
Xbox doesn't want you to buy the game. They want you to subscribe. So, for example, Hellblade, for me, I was gonna buy Hellblade, right? But then one, there wasn't gonna be a physical copy. So then that turned me off. And two, I just didn't want to buy it digitally. So I did what Xbox wants you to do. Subscribe, play the game, and get out. So pay your $18, your 17.99, play Call of Duty, beat the campaign, get the multiplayer, use it for the month, and that's it. So give them the $18, and guess what? If you like the game, you want to play for a little bit longer, then pay them $36 for 2 months and get the fuck out. That's what they want you to do, because if they didn't want you to do that, then they would not put it on Game Pass.
So you would
But
actually
since
be
they do,
invested in it.
yes, exactly. But since they do, just give them the 18, $36, where they're getting, what the 30% that they are gonna cover from the losses from having to pay ABK, right? Well, now they're gonna lose way more of that.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And what the funny part is even the math doesn't math, right? Like so $70, 30% of $70, let's see if I can do quick math, is $21, I believe. I think. 7 times 10, so yeah, each 10% is 70, 30%, yes, 7 times 3, 21. Yes, that's right. $21. So you take the $18 from Game Pass and the $21, that is $39. You are getting shafted. That means for every single person on if this was just Xbox, just the console, I think that they would have a little bit more of a leg to stand on in their thought process. But because they shove it to PC also, and PC players can play it on Game Pass still at $18, $19 a month, that is where they shoot themselves in the foot. A lot of people play games on Game Pass on PC. I mean, a lot of people play Call of Duty on PC, and now if they can get it for free through Game Pass, through a sub service that you know those PC morons are already. Holy crap! I will read that in just a second. Thank you, JP Loco. These PC morons already pay for all these sub services. And I got a buddy. He's a PC moron. I told him that to his face the other day because he pays for like EA Play, he pays for Ubisoft Plus, he pays for Game Pass, I'm like, bro, what? Why? 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 Why not just pay for Game Pass? All these fucking games are going to go there anyways. And he's like, "Oh man, but I can get this one here and that one." I swear to God, these people are stupid. And I told him that yesterday. And we're still friends because, well, we don't usually mean what we say. He's not actually an idiot. His choice in gaming is dumb. But it's not gonna math.
And also,
Why?
Thrifty, can I jump in there and say
Yeah,
one quick thing?
absolutely.
The another thing too, for all you guys thinking about the what I call the backwards money making and subscription service, or not the backwards, but the backdoor, is you hope, right, that you get a subscription and you hope that after two billing cycles or whatever, the customer forgets and then they just keep getting billed whether they use the service or not, right? I call that
Yes.
the backdoor money maker in the subscription service. Well, as the years go on, that starts to get away because people we live in a world now where we all know subscription services are everywhere.
Mhm.
So people are not as ignorant on the whole billing cycle thing anymore. Why do you think that free trials don't exist as much as they used to even just 2 years ago? The whole point of the free trial was one to
Sorry.
get you to check out their service, so then hopefully you like it, and it's like walking at Costco, you get the free sample, right? Oh, I like this ice cream flavor, let's buy a pack. But now you don't see the free trials anymore because people are now binge watching. So they'll do a free trial. They get the 7 days. They'll binge watch all 14 seasons of whatever TV show they want. And by day seven, they're done. And they don't got to subscribe it again till next year. And then they'll
Absolutely.
pay the $8 and just keep it going. And you see that. And even now, for example, for like the Game Pass that I got for Hellblade 2, every time I turn my Xbox on, I have a little alert saying, "Hey, your subscription will end in whatever days. Would you like to set up automatic renewal?" And I just skip it, right?
Nah,
But
bitch.
that backwards way or the backdoor way of making money, a subscription service, that is out the window now. So how the hell are they gonna make their money? I'll pass it back to you.
So they're not. Let me read this from JP Loco real quick. JP Loco with the Australian 10. If PS players continue to buy COD, this will prove again that PlayStation is the future of Xbox and continue to cater more and more to PlayStation players. Man, I think that's actually what they're banking on. But what they don't realize is PlayStation is actively trying to get its players to non-forcibly leave Call of Duty. We have quite a few games that are in. We have 3 games I know of that are in the pipeline that are kind of those co-op multiplayer shooter esque type games. You got Concord, you got Marathon. What's the one that just came out that I see every time I turn on my PlayStation?
Divers.
No, yes, but no, it's X Defiant. I know that's not a PlayStation game, but every fucking time I turn on my PlayStation, I see X Defiant, X Defiant. So like it's I see that damn game everywhere. And so it's starting, I think this is what PlayStation has to do at this moment because they do know that the less people playing Call of Duty on PlayStation, the more money that Xbox is going to be hemorrhaging. Because they want still a new Call of Duty title every year. That's a lot of work that goes into it, unless they give us more Modern Warfare 3s that are just like Modern Warfare 2. I mean, if they
What
go, what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if PlayStation really wanted to go on the offensive and really get the ball rolling on getting Call of Duty out of PlayStation, I think right now is the time to do it actually. And this is gonna sound fucked up to a lot of you guys, but I mean, these companies don't care about you anyways, right? But the reason I say it's a perfect time, one, Call of Duty's on the decline. Every year, it, Call of Duty is not crushing their year over year sales anymore, right? They are hoping to just maintain those sales numbers. So that in combination with the economy is pretty shitty, not just in the United States, but
It
worldwide.
is pretty shitty.
The cost of goods are going up. Pay isn't increasing. The essentials are ridiculously high, mortgage, rent, food, fuel, energy, stuff like that. Healthcare. If PlayStation really got on their I don't give a fuck, we're gonna crush them because Xbox, let's be real, Xbox is I think at the end of the day they're okay with giving a game away free to their Game Pass subscribers because they make the majority of their money on PlayStation anyways, right? PlayStation and PC with Call of Duty.
But yeah, but if you give it away on Game Pass, then you're cannibalizing your PC market.
Yes, but not everybody's still gonna subscribe to Game Pass because I think a lot of the guys on PC who buy Call of Duty are going to continue to buy it, right? I don't think that. Remember, PC guys are very anti. I mean, look at the stink they did for Helldivers, right?
for
Or just
for
signing up
making
for a
an
free
account.
thing. hmm So I think that those guys will continue to buy the game. Sure, you're going to have a lot that don't and just subscribe, but the majority of PC gamers, I don't think will pay for a subscription service because there's just alternatives and temptation is a bitch. But what I was going to say with PlayStation with everything I just said about the cost and everything like that is, if I was right now in charge of PlayStation, I would send a deal over to Phil right now, or not Phil, but Satya, right? Because we all know who's running the show over at Xbox, and be like, hey, I no longer want 30%, I want 50%. And if you can't give me 50%, then we will no longer sell Call of Duty on our platform. PlayStation currently has all the power. What is it? 70% of Call of Duty sales are through PlayStation. I think that if PlayStation was really about that life, this is the great time because what's the gamer gonna do? They're gonna go ahead and buy an Xbox when the economy and the cost of goods and all this shit's going up. Sure, you're gonna get some of those guys that are like, fuck it, I'm gonna go buy an Xbox, or fuck it, I'm just gonna play on my Xbox. But I don't think many will. Now I could be wrong, right? This is just me guesstimating, but I think this is prime season for something like that to happen. Do I think it's gonna happen? Absolutely not. There's too much money to be made. Even if PlayStation only gets, I don't know, 3 billion out of the 10 billion that COD makes yearly, that's a fake number. I don't know none of this. That's still 3 billion, right? And we all know that even though PlayStation 5 is the most profitable console in the history of PlayStation, they still want more money. But this is just me saying, if they really wanted to, they hold all the cards. They can really stick it to Xbox and really put them out of business with Call of Duty if they really wanted to.
So Michael in the chat just said 48% of Call of Duty sales are on PlayStation, which is
That's a
it
70. That's the highest number.
it furthers
Well, it's
the
almost half.
right, and it furthers the thought that people are saying, well, if if all the players on PlayStation buy it, and even if all the other players elsewhere do get it through Game Pass, then Xbox is really only losing $20 a pop, and they'll make that back the next month when people don't cancel Game Pass. Or when they get it and then they find something else to play on Game Pass. The problem with that line of thinking, finding something else to play, if there would have been a game that got them to sign up to Game Pass already, they would already have it. Does that make sense? Like if there was something worth their time, then they would have already had Game Pass. All you're doing is looking at the 25 million people who you have on Game Pass Ultimate, and or whichever Game Pass gets you the Xbox One, and then you can play it on PC also, or whatever the hell that is. It's Ultimate, but there's one right under that. All it's doing is telling those 24 million, hey, you don't need Game Pass, or you don't need to buy Call of Duty. It's right here. It's it's right. So the games sell very, very well. It is literally a license to print money. And instead, you have Xbox going, ooh, what do we need? Money. How are we going to get it? Well, we got Call of Duty. That's great. You know what we should do to make all our money back? We should put it on fucking Game Pass. You know what? That's a genius idea. Put it on Game Pass. People won't be able to resist and will. I think you brought up a damn good point that I didn't even think of. My PC buddy, even though he has all these subscriptions, unless it is an Xbox like exclusive title, everything else of his is bought through Steam. It is uh, or it's played through the other subservices. But like his Steam library puts my gaming library to absolute shame. And I have 260 something digital titles that I have access to right now in this moment. Some of them are on a backup drive, some of them are on the uh, PlayStation itself. But like, so thinking you're going to convert these people, well, it'll be okay if we can convert them to a subscription because then they're going to find a game that they like and get it. No, you jackass, they already have the game that they wanted from you, and they probably purchased it through Steam. You're not gaining any ground, and the 48% on PlayStation, that number's going down. And so you're this is the one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Well, the next thing that they did that was brought up in our Discord, I can't remember who posted it, but one of them did. I want to say it was Josh. I could be wrong, or Nelson. Once again, I could be wrong. Hell, it could have been Will. But basically, they are. Oh shit! They're canceling. Oh yeah, they're canceling a Killer Instinct tournament um, because they didn't want to get people's hopes up that there was a new game coming out. So
That's that defeatist mentality again.
we don't want to answer questions. We don't have shit for you, so we're gonna cancel the only bit of good press that we've had almost all fucking year. And yeah, it's canceled now. Oh, okay. And somebody brought it up in the chat. They said that Xbox does a lot of what they do not for the gamer.
No,
Events, things. That Go ahead, Will.
no, I'm just saying no, they don't.
Oh,
It's all reactionary.
Well, and events, and I think Wara said this, events and stuff like that, those type of deals, those type of things, those are for the player, those are for the fan, those are for the games, like the gamer. Those aren't so the company can make a crap ton of money. They don't do that. Like even in the magic circles, these companies don't put on these magic events and these magic festivals and like MagicCon Vegas. They don't do that so they can make money. They do that to deepen in their fan base. To like really, if you go to one of those things, you're in there for life. I got some people to respond to Hey Twisted. Okay, I thought they said Hey Thrifty. Okay, hang on. I'm sorry, guys. I was up pacing. My headache is completely non existent this week, and my blood is pumping. RPG88, thank you again. That's another gifted. Juice got that. Nice name. Reminds me of Big Juice from The Blank Check. Fantastic movie. Looking back on it, do y'all realize that the woman who kissed the kid in The Blank Check, she was like 30 and he was like 12 or 13? Crazy, right? Like,
At the time, a 12-year-old's dream would be to kiss a
I know,
30-year-old, you
but
know?
still, like you're looking back at it now, especially as a
Oh
parent,
yeah.
I would never let my child kiss a
Hell
30 year
no.
old
Dude,
woman.
during Christmas, we were at my mom's house. We were watching Home Alone, and we were talking like adult stuff now. Like, man, how much is that house worth? That house has got to be worth this much money, you know? Because you don't think about that shit when you're a kid. And then we're like, dude, the parents are our age now. You know, like back then they were in their 30s. Like we're in our 30s now. Like, hit reality hits you in the face a little bit there.
But I will be honest, I wanted to be that 12-year-old kid, so it was
Oh, fuck
fun.
yeah.
It was
And that
totally
house
fun.
just sold for like $5 million recently too, like this year or last
That's-
year.
oh, the house they used in the movie?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. He bought it for 1 million in the movie. Or no, he
yeah,
didn't. 435,000, I believe.
yeah.
Uh,
Half a million.
I've watched that movie repeatedly. I love that damn movie. Anyways, so yeah, they're doing things that make me believe they're stupid. But because guys, I really do try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I really, really do. I have said before that they can't be this dumb. They can't. And then they'll do something even dumber, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, oh good god, okay. No, they have to have a reason for this. This is the reason. Their strings are being pulled by Satya. That's the reason. Well, then the dumb broad comes out. Not dumb, sorry, and not a broad. That's mean. Sarah Bond comes out and says what she says, and I'm sitting here like, okay, uh huh, okay. So you're gonna be a little bit snakier than even your boss, Phil. Okay. Oh, that's kind of scary. And then I hear her like answer the questions about Tango, and I'm like, oh, never mind, never mind. She's not scary. She's stupid. Okay, cool. But there has to be something. RPG88, I see you, dude. Have a good night, man. Appreciate the two gifteds, man. I'm speechless. I literally don't know what to say anymore other than just thank y'all. Um,
Well, Thrifty, I think I have well,
what do you
two
think? Do you think they're
theories.
dumb, or do you think what Josh said in the Discord earlier about them trying to sabotage it is what's going on? I need to know because I'm literally just fumbling over words now because I'm at a loss for anything intelligent to say on these people.
Oh,
Like,
I don't think it's either of those. So normally, what I would say, and I said this on the show before, is they're either ignorant or they're malicious about it, right?
right.
But I have learned something over the last few months. It's not that they're not
Is
ignorant,
there a
because of
third
course
option?
everybody has a
Please.
level of ignorance and everybody has a level of malicious. And I think that's where it leads more to is maliciousness. And the reason I say that, or the definition of maliciousness in this situation, is I think that Xbox is just completely out of patience. So what they're doing right now is just hitting trying to hit a home run in every decision they make, but they don't see it as taking really good swings. Right now, they're just acting very erratic. It's like bottom of the ninth inning. There's no outs. You got your top five hitters coming up, and every single one of those fives are trying to hit home runs just to get the game back to halfway to the point. And I think that's where they're at. They're just making erratic decisions because they're so far behind. And instead of just taking a step back, reevaluating, trying to build things as organically as they possibly can, they're just they're going for the fences, and then they're just creating a much deeper hole.
So
Especially after spending 70 billion.
to give it away, holy shit! They spent 70 billion to give the games away.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, all these morons that were like, "Oh, Call of Duty's gonna be exclusive. Call of Duty's gonna go exclusive." No, it's not. It can't. Good
Well,
luck.
no, yeah, it can't. And that's what I just said to I forget his name on Twitter. But I told him that especially with the news about PlayStation that came out today, um, and their numbers and stuff like that. I told him Detective Seeds. I'm sorry, I don't know why I forgot his name. Shout out to Detective Seeds. I said, I mean, the worst part about this is that it does not take a genius. We live in the information age, and if you can put your feelings to the side, look at the evidence and the information, you can make a pretty solid conclusion. So you don't have to be a genius, you don't have to be a business expert, you don't have to be none of these things to see what's going on and have an opinion, and that opinion be probably more than likely correct. And Xbox is just, they lost it, man. They're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with no floats. They're out of energy. They're starving, and they're about to sink any moment now.
I really think that
And in their pockets, they have all the guilt of 70 billion spent. TV, 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 Connect, all that guilt, all those bad decisions are in their pockets as rocks, weighing them down every breath they take till eventually they can't take it anymore and they just sink.
that has so King Thrash, his history videos and his like receipt videos are some of the best you're going to find anywhere. That dude can find salt in a snowstorm. It's freaking insane. And that clip that he did in there where it's all the like different interviewers saying something about TV before they talked about anything else. I remember driving and I was like TV TV TV. Why the fuck are they talking about TV? And then I looked down at my phone and I realized, "Oh, it's all the different speakers at different times." And I was like, that's and then he came on and goes, "Yes, that was the same interview." And I was like, "Oh shit." Like, oh no, that was the same marketing season. And I was like, holy shit, we've seen this before. So, this is what separates the good companies from the companies that I really just have no love lost for. Company A does something stupid, they learn from it, and they don't do the stupid thing again. Or they try to at least avoid the stupid thing. We're about to see if Nintendo makes the same mistake they did going from the Wii to the Wii U, because we still don't know what their second system's going to be, and we've seen them mess that up before. So we're about to see if they learned from the Wii U mistakes or if they're going to repeat them. I think they learned from them. Now, you have Company A learns from their mistakes, doesn't make the mistake again, or at least tries to prevent themselves. Then you have Company B, who makes the mistake again, doesn't make the mistake for like a couple years, makes it again, lies about making it again, tries to put money on the problem to cover it up, does the same shit again, and then after that is going to literally be looking at their players and going, guys, we really need to. I'm sorry. Their YouTube paid shills are gonna go, guys. We really got to start buying games. If you like the game, man, you gotta buy the game. You gotta buy the game. You really have to. Oh, and by the way, Company A came out and told Company B that, hey, this cannibalizes sales. And then Company B said, no, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's gonna drive. They're gonna play these games and they're gonna be like, man, these games are fucking amazing, and now I want to buy them. And then a year later, we find out that, oh yeah, it actually did cannibalize your sales, just like Company A told you it would. The same reason why Company A doesn't put games day and date on their subservice, you dumbasses. And so, at some point, the benefit of the doubt that I try to give most people, it has to run out eventually. And I find myself to be sometimes not in the moment, but after thinking about it, I'm usually a very forgiving person. Like I'll realize, hey, listen, I overreacted on that. I shouldn't have said that. Or, you know what? We talked about this the other day, and I was dead hard in this stance. And you know what? After doing some of my own research on some of the things you said, I'll come back and I'll admit that I'm wrong. I always tell folks that I will argue until I am blue in the face if I think that I am right. Now, if I find out either through that conversation or through another means that, oh, hey, you were wrong. Oh, shit. Okay, cool. I've done it with all of my buddies, and it's kind of just a spoken thing that we do. Like, we'll have these really intense debates over shit. And usually it's stupid stuff, like pop culture or something. And we'll be like, later on, we'll be like, man, you know what? I was wrong. My bad. You were right. I actually looked it up, and that wasn't the voice actress who did this. She didn't actually do that other thing. Oh, cool. And like we do that. Just don't be wrong, Josh. Not everybody is as cool as you. Some of us get it wrong. And so, main thing is when you have your fan base, when you have a following that literally is brain dead and has been not brain dead, brainwashed. That's better. If when you have a base that is brainwashed and they're not going to push back on you, and you don't listen to your contemporaries in the same space going, no, it's actually going to cannibalize your sales. And then you cannibalize your sales, and then you spend $70 billion only to cannibalize the sales of those franchises that you just made a purchase on based off of the valuation of those franchises continuing to sell their games at $70 a pop. It it doesn't make any damn sense. And that is why I'm starting to believe that I I'm starting to believe it has to be malicious. Right? It has to be. There's no other reason for it. Now, one of the guys in the Discord, if he's okay with me mentioning who it was or whatnot, I will. But one of the dudes in the Discord said that they could be running Xbox into the ground and destroying this whole ABK stuff. So that way in August, the FTC comes in and they see the shambles that Xbox has done with it and the amount of money lost, the closing of the studios, even studios that did good work for them, and blah, blah, blah. They didn't stick with their promises, so that they come in and shut them down. The guy who mentioned it even said it was a super slim chance of that happening, but it's a chance nonetheless. That makes more sense to me than the other bullshit they're doing. Like, Will, does that make sense? Like, that sounds
Yep.
more logical than what they're doing. Because what they're doing, I'm scratching my head. Like, why do you take away the only thing that people were looking forward to as good press from you? Why do you take away that? Why'd you cancel BlizzCon? Why are you putting Call of Duty on Game Pass year one? And you're not raising the cost of Game Pass. Like, that is. I think the only reason they haven't announced the raising of Game Pass right now is because they literally can't handle any more bad press. At least on that level. They come out and say, hey, Game Pass is now $30 a month, or $27 or $25 a month. Like, once you cross that $20 threshold, you can ask Netflix about this shit. Once you try to cross that $20 threshold, people start paying a lot more attention. Because up to that point, oh, it's under 20 bucks and look at all the stuff I get. I mean, can you believe I get all of this for under 20 bucks? But once it's over 20, oh man, how much do you pay for your Netflix? Oh man, it's like $23 a month. Damn, that's a lot, isn't it? Yeah, my wife and I have been thinking about it. Like, at that point, something, at least in the people I talk to on like a daily basis, uh, those like $20 is usually are like, oh, how much did you get that for? Oh, it was $7. Cool, man, that's a freaking steal. How much you buy that for? Oh, it's $20. Oh, that's okay. Like, so like I think that that's the only reason why they haven't done. Uh, that's the only reason why I think they haven't upped the price of
Well,
Game
Thrifty,
Pass yet.
it, especially me, but everybody I speak to, family, friends, co-workers, it's all about get in and get out. It's all
Mm,
about
that
there's a
hit it and
show I
quit
want
it.
to watch, get in. Watch it, get out. Me, play Hellblade 2, get out. And look, they screwed themselves because I was willing to buy Hellblade, even if the reviews. Look, I'm a contrarian by nature, right? Wherever the popular like belief is, or the popular, I like to go against it because something is always to me. It's like that's suspicious. So I would have bought Hellblade 2 even if everybody said with the reviews it was trash. But Xbox prohibited me from doing so because I refuse to buy a game like that digitally. I just refuse to. I always need a way to get my money back, and the best way I can do that is by reselling the game if I really don't like it or want to keep it in my collection, right? So my alternative was to do Game Pass. And just that small little business decision they made cost them $50. Now, I'm not saying end all be all with me, but there's a lot of people like me, guys, more than you like to believe. I mean, even our chat right now prefer physical over digital.
Yep.
And a lot of you guys have told me the same thing too. Like, yeah, I'm moving over to physical. I see that I'm losing my power. I'm seeing the risk that there is in the digital world where if your account gets banned, you lose everything. I don't want to keep taking that risk. So that wave is moving. And these companies, man, look, their ideal game that they would put out is like a Fortnite, right? Where they can come out with something that makes a shit ton of money. All they got to do is come out with new seasons every, 3 months, 4 months, and keep raking in the money. Unfortunately, not everything lasts forever. Unfortunately, the only thing that's guaranteed is change. A lot of these companies have a hard time dealing with that. So they create these budgets every single year that are incredibly high. And they do that because of their dreams of expansion and also having to make the money to satiate that hunger from the investors and just a whole bunch of different reasons that they get lost in the sauce. I mean, there's gonna be some sort of we've talked about this before, how there will be people call it like a gaming crash. I don't think there will be the gaming crash that we're all thinking, but I think the days of CEOs, like the Activision or not Activision, but EA CEO making 20, $30 million bonus money. That's just one guy, not including the CFO and all the other upper management getting paid millions of dollars. I think that's gonna go away and it should. That's why I appreciate man, Josh gave me the name last week. The Nintendo guy who took a pay cut and his team also took a pay cut to keep their developers employed because they knew they cannot move forward as a gaming company by getting rid of the people that make it happen. And I think that the best way that we can help with that is by speaking with our wallets. And if they don't want to give us options, if they want to say shit like get used to not owning any games, Ubisoft CEO, then hit them where it hurts, and that's the pocketbook.
Yeah, and the downside is I see Xbox hitting them own selves in the pocketbook. So-
Yeah, their own. Yeah, we don't even have to do it. They do it for them, for themselves. Like Xbox is just living day by day, man. If they can get you to just subscribe, no matter if it's a dollar subscription or because you got a free code from buying fucking ranch Doritos at the gas station, they don't care. To them, a win is a win is enough to get
Ooh.
the investors in Satya off their back so they can come back to work the next day.
I know that when Halo Infinite came out for like a year afterwards, you get those little trolley bright crawlers from the gas station, and there was a code in there for Xbox reward points or something. You could use those reward points to get either more free Game Pass, or you could use it to get equipment or something like that in Call of Duty, but I remember seeing that shit everywhere. It's on the Rockstar cans. They do a ton. One of the things that Xbox does is you can be guaranteed that if they have a big game coming out, that game is going to be slapped on some sort of junk food item, be it it might be on all of them, chips, candies, cookies, crackers, sodas, all of it. And like so that is one thing that I think they do well when it comes to their marketing because I can't tell you. It reminds me of being a kid and you used to go get the Sprite that when you popped the lid on it, you had a code in there and you could win like hats with it, jerseys, or my favorite one because it was instant gratification, free 20 ounce. Like you could go back and get a second one. Like I love that type of stuff. So I think that's really cool. The problem is the games that it goes to suck. And so I really do think that they are um, shooting themselves in the foot. But let's talk about a company now that's not shooting themselves in the foot and is not going to cannibalize stuff. Play Beyond, welcome. I've not seen that name in here before. I only buy digital when they're dirt cheap, digital only, and rare to get physically now. I will get the game physical whenever possible. Yeah, and that's like I have a game that I'm thinking about. It's still at my local game store, and I'm thinking about getting it, but I don't know if I want to because the game actually sucks. But it's still kind of a piece of my nostalgia that I'd like to have. It's
Game.
the Turtles Mutants in Manhattan, the
Oh,
PS4 game that's like $50
yeah, yeah.
when you can
I
find
got it.
it used. It's
Yeah, I got
I
that game.
hate the game. The
Really?
combat
I
is
think it's okay.
it's the combat is so clunky. That's the only I like the art style. Well, the art style is passable. The voice work is passable. Everything is
Isn't that
fine,
game
but
co-op?
I don't remember if it was online co-op or not. I have no idea. I never played it co-op. It wasn't until Outriders that I really started playing co-op games online. Up to that point, it was Black Ops 2 was what I played with other people. Um, but yeah, so somebody mentioned that the PSN sales, and I pointed out, guys, days of play this year, at least digitally speaking, is actually not that good. Like, there are some good things in there, but it's not like page after page of hits and stuff like that like we had last year. And then the sales are not that good. Like, Spider-Man 2 being $20 less is absolutely asinine for a days of play sale. It should have been 50% off for a days of play sale. Like back to school sale, whatever. What's up, JC? Zero still don't know if I said hi to you, but what's up?
Well, Thrifty,
Nelson,
why would they when they're still selling gangbusters?
I yes, I get
I
that
mean, Spider-Man 2's at 11 million sold since April 20th, as of April 20th. So it's like, why would they do 50% when the game is still
because
selling?
because there's a few big sales that people look for throughout the year, and this is the days of play is one of them. And on those sales, they should be treated like, hey, this is kind of a gift back to the gamers, or this is a sale for the gamers. That's what I always feel like their November sale is, because you can find stuff dirt cheap, and they cycle that sale out over a 4 week period. So you have 2 weeks, and then some of the deals change, and then new deals come in. But this one just didn't seem like Mirage should be $22, $20. Like Jedi Survivor, that game should be $20, $25. And these are all games that are on sale because I look at this sale to decide what games I'm going to get on sale so I know what games I'm going to be reviewing. And so I look forward to this sale every year, especially since I've had the channel. But even before that, I've been thrifty for life. Like y'all know that this isn't this isn't a fake facade I put on for the channel. I have been a tightwad my whole life, and so I really look forward to this sale. And it just didn't hit. Now there is one game I am going to get, and it's Trails to Azure. because that is the next game of the Trails series that I need to play still. And so after I beat the first one that I'm in, Trails in the Sky. Nope, that's the one I can't play. Uh, I can't remember which one it's called. Trails from Zero. After I play that, Trails of Azure is next, and it's only like $26, and those games rarely go on sale. Anyways, speaking of giving PlayStation my money, let's get into State of Play. Here's what we have on State of Play, guys. Okay, I want you to see this. It's a big, big, huge. Will, if you actually clicked on this link, you probably cussed me out because it's like a sentence. So we have State of Play coming back. It's coming tomorrow. Little jackasses couldn't put it today. That's fine. It's coming tomorrow. It'll be 4 p.m. my time, 3 p.m. No, wait, 5 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. BST, which I'm not sure what that means, but I know that tomorrow on my ride home from my last house, I will be able to listen to the State of Play. So I am super excited about that. And here's what they say about it. State of Play is back. Tune in live for updates on PS5 and PSVR 2 titles. Okay, cool. If that's where they would have stopped, that would have been alright, cool. Still excited, but this part right here. Plus a look at PlayStation Studios games arriving later this year. Now, that could be the MLB game. I don't know. It could be some
Studios, plural.
studios.
Yep.
Studios.
So there's more than one, guys.
A 30-minute show featuring 14 titles. I'm going to let Will give kind of what he hopes for. He just hopes to see games. But I'm going to let him go a little deeper in that. The only thing that I hope for, I want to know what's coming out over the next 4 or 5 months, and I'll be happy. That's it. I just want. What the hell was that? Weird. Yeah, I just want to know what's coming out for the next 4 to 5 months, and then that's my only expectation. There's a few things I want to see. I'd love to see another trailer for V Rising. I'd love to see another trailer for Astral Blade, because those two games are indie titles that really have my attention. One of them is like a Diablo-esque. The other one looks like a kind of a Metroidvania side-scroller type game. And so those games have my interest. And they're part of China Hero Project, I believe. Astral Blade is. V Rising is not. V Rising was a Steam game that's coming out now for the PS5, which I was able to screw with my buddy who said the game is awesome. And I said, hey man, thanks for playtesting it for me. I can't help myself. I keep this shit going all the time because this is me. And so, Will, what do you think, man? What do you want to see? What's your expectation?
Oh man, there's so much shit I would like to see. But first, what I really want to see is just games like Thrifty said. One thing that I do appreciate about PlayStation is that bam, today they let us know, hey, showcase or state of play tomorrow, and it happens, right? So that's the first thing I want to say. There's not this building up of anticipation, this fucking future date, none of that shit. It's like, bam, today we're announcing it. Tomorrow's the showcase or the state of play. Be there at this time. And all I just want to see is what PlayStation has in store for us. I said in the Discord a couple days ago, or yesterday, where I said, you know, PlayStation makes games for me. That's what it feels like. I know they don't make them specifically for me, right? I'm just one of millions of gamers, but they make the types of games that I like. Now on my wish list, what I would love to see, which I know I'm not, but like Ghost of Tsushima is probably like my number one thing that I want to see. I would love to see that game. Um, I know I'm not going to, but man, even just a teaser, even if it's just a little like 45 second, little teaser, CGI, saying, hey, next, 2025, that would make it for me. What I think we will see is we'll see Concord, of course, that's slated to be for this year. I am not excited for that game. I think that multiplayer games, I think they shouldn't even be announced, honestly. I think those are a waste of time. But that's just me. I'm a single player narrative driven gamer. Um, I know we've been on the socials. Astrobot has been floating around as a game that may get announced. That would be awesome. Actually, I platinumed the Astrobot that we got for free as part of our PS5
Better
purchase.
say mine costs
Um,
$500. I don't know how you got yours for free.
yeah, no, I
That
mean
was a
that
joke.
game is
That was a
awesome,
joke.
and yeah, I know. Um, so a full blown game with that, 10, 15 hours long, man, that would be awesome. But what comes out doesn't really matter. It's just when it comes out. That's my biggest question out of all of this. I don't care. I do care if it's third party or first party, but more importantly than that, I want a timeline. I want a time frame of when things should be coming out, when to expect things. Now, and speaking of the state of play, the ideal way that I would like to stay informed with this kind of stuff is I wish once a year or once every 2 years, whatever, PlayStation would say, hey, we're going to do a showcase around this time, second quarter of whatever year, third quarter. And then pop up with these data plays here and there. Now in 2022, we were very, very blessed, right? We kept getting a state of play, it felt like almost every month. I don't think it'll be like that this year. I think that this
Was that the year
year,
we didn't get a showcase?
no, we didn't get a showcase. Yeah, that's the year we didn't get a showcase.
But they
Remember,
gave
because
us
then
like four
2020.
state of plays.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We ended up getting, no, we got more than that, right? Four. I don't know. It felt like almost every month we're getting a state of play, but the shit, mind went blank. With the 2023 state of or showcase, everything has come out. Everything that PlayStation has been advertising for the last couple of years is out already. There's absolutely nothing. Now there are a couple third-party games like The Little Devil Inside, which I found out a whole bunch of shit about that game, and I can talk about that for the next 15, 20 minutes. I won't, but let's just say that game is a fucking sham, and if you've been looking forward to that game, it's literally gonna be a miracle if that game comes out. And the other one is a couple of third-party games that I think one of them is from Square Enix, the other one are from Capcom. Those third-party games, but we know that they're getting pushed out, and we know roughly it'll be a 2025 game. But the other thing I wanted to say is, before I pass it back to you, Thrifty, is right now, at this timeline of the console generation, it's when we're about to start seeing some of the best games ever created. And I'm saying this based on the history of PlayStation, the end of the PS3, the mid to end of the PS3 cycle, PS4, the middle to the end, is when we got games like Last of Us, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2, Horizon. Like the bangers that we know of today all came out between the middle of the generation to the end of the generation. So if we were impressed with the first half of the PS5 generation, I cannot wait to get to the second half.
Yes. I just want to get to the second half of the year, but I know you do too. I'm not like that's not a counterpoint to anything you said. Uh, but definitely, definitely would like to see. I'm excited to see what happens in the second half because we don't have cross-gen games coming out anymore, at least from the big studios. We don't have cross-gen games coming out anymore. I saw the other day that there still are some games that are releasing on like the PS4, PS5, uh, Xbox X and S, PC, Steam, and I'm like, oh wow, weird. I didn't realize that games were still doing that. Um, but one of the things it's a game I always forget about. Oh, Phantom Blade Zero. That'd be cool. That would be awesome. So here's some of the things from the chat. Byron earlier had said, let me find it because he had like a whole list. Horizon, Gravity Rush, Fair Games, Concord, Astrobot, Venom, Ghost of Tsushima 2. Listen, if that's what they hit us with, That's a 10 out of 10. Like that's because Ghost of Tsushima and the Venom game are like 15 out of 10, and so they bring up the fair games in the Concord, and so that's how I'm getting to that number. I had mentioned Lost Soul Aside, possibly. Josh said Pragmata, Gravity Rush 2.
Auto was
The
the Capcom game that they told us was going to be delayed
I think that's
indefinitely, basically.
isn't that Lost Soul Aside?
Lost Souls title from previous generation, dude. It's been that long.
Yeah, it's PlayStation China Hero Project, Lost Soul Aside. Okay, so that wasn't the Capcom game.
No, was that the one I was just talking about? That one is the not outer space, but like spacesuit with the little girl. Um, yeah, that they told us Capcom told us in their not whatever Capcom show does whenever they announced Dragon's Dogma last year, or not announced it, but they were showing it. That game got put basically on ice. They said they were still developing on it. They didn't have any time frame.
Oh, weird. Okay, I don't remember that. I guess that was Pragmata. I think that's what Josh. Yeah, Byron and Josh were responding to you. Josh had mentioned it during what you were just saying, and then Byron mentioned it just now. It's Pragmata. That's the one. That's the name of the game. Okay, Mark Cutler. I don't have to click through 14 different videos on YouTube to see the trailers. Just show us all at once. Yes, yes, absolutely.
I
Mark Carter.
disagree. I like the little show thing. I like them going, game by game.
But do you like? So there's a happy balance. I think the Summer Games Fest, Jeff Keighley's show.
That's too much.
I
That's
think
way
that's
too
too
much.
much talking and too much. It's like the Oscars. Like, shut up and just get to the awards.
Yep. Yep.
And don't give awards away off stage. That's bullshit.
But
Like,
we have to remember the problem with these showcases is not really, or not. I don't want to generalize them, but like PlayStation Showcase, right? Like last year, let's use that. I just want to talk about PlayStation because honestly, I don't really watch Xboxes because there's never really there that I'm interested. So just focusing on
never.
PlayStation strictly. I think people's biggest problem with PlayStation Showcase is that look, I just got a DM right now on PlayStation from a friend of ours that says, "What game are you playing? Your palette is so varied." And the reason I say that is because I think the biggest problem we have with showcases is not showcase problem, it's a gamer problem. You
Mm.
guys like the first game, the second game, then the second, third, fourth games are not your vibe, so you completely dismiss them, and then they might hit you with something you're sort of interested in, and then you're hoping that the finale is something you're really interested in, right? And if that happens, then you're like, yeah, that was a decent showcase. I give it a 7 out of 10. If it hits you with a banger in the beginning, a banger in the middle, a banger in the end, you give it a 10 out of 10. Not me. I like so much shit, even shit that, of course, there's a like the turn based. I do not like those. I do not enjoy them. I want to play, right? And I feel like with turn based like strategy games, like they're just I don't know, whatever. So if I got a whole showcase of that, I would say it's trash. But I think it's a lot of gamers stick to their niche of gaming, their genre of gaming, and anything that's not in that, it's trash to them. So I don't think that it's a showcase problem. Speaking of PlayStation, right? Because if we talk about Jeff Keighley shit, I agree. There's a lot of problems with that shit. Offstage awards, you're talking way too much, advertisements, just out the ass. But when it comes to PlayStation, I think they do a pretty good job. They're very effective with their time. We find out about 15, 20 games within a 27-minute, time frame. And I think they're entertainment for the most part. And I look at them as trailers at the movie theater. In case you didn't know this, I love getting to the theater early when I do go,
To see all
just
the
to catch the
previews.
trailers. Exactly.
Yes.
That's my thing. I love seeing what's coming up.
Yeah, so you actually kind of sparked something, different types of games and niches. And one of the guys in the chat, JP Loco, said, I can't do strategy or sports games. And that's, yeah. So what I have found about myself, and this is actually something that, funny enough, playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and so playing Evil West, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Stellar Blade, and now Diablo 4, I definitely have a type. Like, I love games that give you skill trees, that give you the RPG elements, uh, but I love the pulled back camera view. I love the big open vistas. I love that. And so Will's right. I am a gamer that I don't deviate from what I love, but at the same time, I have been able to jump genres, son of a bitch. I have been able to jump types of games that I like because there's like that RPG element in there. So Bastion's a good example. Bastion, it's actually on the screen right now. I freaking love this game. It's extremely, extremely fun, and it's always on sale. You can find it all the time for $2, $4, $3. It is so worth it. I wish I wouldn't have looked at this game a long time ago, and I wish I would have like not been turning my nose up to it because it looked like a little kid's game. This is actually the furthest thing from a kid's game. It's actually very depressing and a sad story, and the ending, no matter which one you choose, is kind of sad either way. And so it's just a like it's heart wrenching at the end, depending on which one you choose. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Uh, the fact is, the game has a ton of RPG elements. So after you get done with it, done with a level or whatnot, you go back into the city. And oh, Henry's heading out. All right, have a good night, Henry. Thanks for coming in, man. Um, After you get back to your little like hub, you can spend money on upgrades, you can spend money on different weapons, you can collect different things that unlock different upgrades and different abilities, and all of that stuff is super fun. And I love tinkering with stuff like that because I like to min max my characters. I want to be the best at one thing and I want to do that one thing very well. Uh, and so those type of games and those type of gameplay elements, if a game doesn't have those, then I'm just like, whatever. If I can't if I can't break the build of the character and feel like a god by the end of it, I don't want to play the game. That's why I don't usually play Souls games, because you never get that power fantasy with them unless you spend all that time and take all that patience and to actually figure out how to beat the bosses and stuff. That's also why I don't usually play first person shooter games, uh, like your Call of Duties, your oh shoot, the Call of Duty is the first one that came to my mind, but like any first person shooter where it's just about the gunplay, like the war games and stuff, I don't do those. They just don't do it for me. It's not fun. It's not something that I gravitate towards because there's no element. It's literally just walk around, shoot, dodge, maybe you have a shield, maybe you can throw a grenade. Cool. Like there's no way to really min max. You just have to get better at the game. And that's not fun. To me, I like the power fantasy. That's one of the things that I was raving on with Diablo 4 is that I'm so early on in the game and already I feel ridiculously overpowered. And I absolutely love that because it's fun. That's why I play games. I play games for fun. At JP Loco with the 5. Y'all better support Astrobot. I want more of Astrobot. Help me make Astrobot to PS what Mario is to Nintendo. I support that 100%. It will not be a full price game, so I will be getting it day one. And it's not going to take up my last slot for the year, so yay for me. Um, but I'm super, super excited about Astrobot. But even that game, even though they didn't have like an upgrade system, the collectible system of that was super fun. Cause like as you picked up your little items, you could go and like pull the slot machine, and that's how you got more stuff to fill up your museum, and it was so great. But whoa, did somebody take down? Hmm. Somebody just took down a post on uh, X that I had commented on, and it says content not available. Weird. Anyways, it was just an emoji. Anyways, um, that's neither here nor there. So state of play, those are our goals for what we want, or those are the things that we want. Uh, I just want to see games. That's it. I want to see what's coming. I want another January type moment where we get the next 4 games, or I'm sorry, next 4 months of games, and I'm happy. I don't care at that point. Like, I just want to know what's coming out because I want to know what's going to get my money. And so Zero still said, "Oh yeah, Portal needs to be there too." They, ooh, they use Astro for PS Portal marketing, so maybe he. Hey, that's not a bad train of thought. Okay, so PlayStation's goals get clearer, and for that we are going to travel over to the lovely rotting cesspool that is X, and we are going to be using slides that Zubitech posted, and uh, yeah, we're going to go over some of these because this is the part where we have about 20, 30 minutes left of the show, and this is the part that I think is going to get Will more riled up than anything else in the show did. Uh, so, here's the first one. We're just going to, fuck it, just go with the first one. Here you go. First one, most profitable. Read the title. Reading the title explains the title. Most profitable generation to date. Profit. That's not revenue. That's not anything like that. That is profit. That is after everything is said and done. This generation has made them more money than any of the others. And also, you can see the first part of the PS3 generation where they got stupid, like I said earlier, and then you can definitely tell in the PS4 generation where they had learned from it right at the end, right here. They were learning. They were going through their little learning curve right down here, and then after the learning curve, everything started going up, and it's going up some more, and then we had right here where it's levelized now, which is about where it levelized out on the PS4, but the most profitable generation to date. So, if y'all remember over the last couple weeks, people have been saying that PlayStation is dead, PlayStation has no money, PlayStation can't do what they need to. That's why all these changes are happening. That's why Jim Ryan got fired and let go. That's why they're doing all these other stuff. That's why Totoki was going to stick around. And, well, the Totoki thing left. He's not sticking around shortly after we got the Double Dragon approach from Quality Splits and crap, I forgot the other guy's name. Why did I forget the other guy's name? JP Loco with the 2 PS is still doomed. Yeah, I know. This is the craziest fucking thing. And games are going to PC day and date. Um, that's not happening either. But we'll get to that. So, Will, what do you think about the most profitable generation? Hey, guys, real quick, before Will starts talking, go ahead and put some PlayStations in, some little PlayStation controllers in the chat. Let's go ahead and give them their flowers real quick. Most of y'all here are uh, members, so let's go ahead and give them some of their flowers. Uh, Will, what do you think about PlayStation being the most profitable generation to date?
It is it's a little it's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. They haven't discounted the PlayStation heavily. By now, this PlayStation would should have cost 399 and 299. It hasn't. The output of games in the first half has been crazy. They're selling games at $70 a copy. They are marketing is insane with TV shows and movies coming out and have come out. The accessory list is growing by the year. PlayStation Portable, PSVR 2, the best in its class. How is this surprising anybody? I just
Well, because
don't understand.
we were told that because of the restructuring that they were doing, that they were in deep trouble, that studios were dying, that they had no money. So what's going
So
on?
if if your buddy who is divorced comes up to you and tries to give you marriage advice, are you gonna listen to him? If your colleague who went bankrupt 3 times comes up to you and tries to tell you how to manage your finances, you're gonna listen to them. The point is, at a certain point, guys, we do this with the bots. I have to blame you. You keep watching these dollar store YouTubers, these fucking cesspool of fucking filth. I would have put them out my piss if they were on fire. How disgusting they are. These fake ass fucking journalists who have these unprofessional people, these uninformed people tell you how bad PlayStation is doing, while at the same time telling you how Xbox is doing well with their Game Pass. You deserve to get fooled. You deserve to stay ignorant. Something is not adding up, guys. We have been talking about record-breaking year, even though inflation, even though the economy sucks. We have been playing games, even though nobody else is. We have been buying new accessories and new console freaking whatever those things are to change the color of them. We've been buying all
The
this shit,
plates,
and
the
you're here to
plates.
tell me the plates,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're here to tell me that PlayStation is doing bad?
yeah.
You have a finance guy that took over for Jim Ryan, and he's saying how basically his job and oh, PlayStation's in trouble? Like, in what world does all this equal to they're doing poor?
Because we want them to do poor. That's why. Because they want them to do poor, so they're speaking it into existence. Is what they're trying to do.
It's just ridiculous. I'm happy for PlayStation. And the reason I'm happy is because that means that their future, at least their you know, the near future is secure. That means they're going to continue to put out games. That means that they're still going to continue with their game plan. That means that we're just going to get more shit. And that's why I'm excited about it. I really don't give a fuck about how much money they're profiting or how much money. I don't care about none of that. I'm just excited that my hobby that I like is going to continue to thrive, at least with PlayStation and probably Nintendo. And that's what I'm really excited about. And this is great news. And once again, Microsoft is known for stealing all sorts of shit, but yet they will not steal the playbook that has made PlayStation successful. Please explain that to me. These are the questions that these quote unquote journalists and YouTubers should be asking. PlayStation is having a record generation, while Microsoft is the complete opposite of that.
Oh, they're having a record
Why?
generation at Microsoft too. It's just the
Why?
opposite direction.
Why aren't they asking these questions? A lot of these guys tout how they have connections with Phil, how they're able to send Sarabon an email and get a response, how they're going to have brunches and dinner dates and all this shit with C-class executives and going on all these trips. Why aren't these questions being asked? And us as the viewer and the gamers, why are we supporting these people? And Nelson made a good point. Well, Will, not all of us get to play games at work, or this is just for entertainment. I get that. But we keep giving them our energy and our views and our likes and our comments. They're just gonna continue with what they do, which is bullshit you, give you wrong information, get you riled up, and keep this whole fucking shit going.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think I think Nelson does bring up a good point though. Like sometimes, and like I mentioned it in Discord, and you had even said it's a much better use of my time. Instead of watching the normal YouTube channels that I watch throughout the day, getting content and getting information on certain things, I just kind of stopped this week, and I actually stopped mid last week, and I have started getting back into audiobooks. One because of Diablo. I have started listening to the old Diablo books that kind of explained the lore way more in depth and stuff like that. So I've been listening to those, and I started listening to my Forgotten Realms series again. Picked up back on book six. So really, like, there are so many better things to spend your time on. And I know, the YouTube guy is telling you not to watch YouTube that much, and I am. Like, there are so many more things that bring happiness that don't drain you of every single piece of existence that you are. Uh, and a lot of that stuff that you're gonna find that does drain you is on YouTube, like just or Twitter.
Yeah, dude, I stopped probably about a month and a half ago. I haven't been listening to nobody's podcast. I mean, I occasionally will dip into like I don't know, maybe something like Crossfire, like Mooch,
Yeah, I was
just
about to
because
say
he
I'll dip into
has,
Mooch and Jez, but
yeah, Jess.
that's about
Just because
it.
Jess is the same, he's like us. He loves games. He loves information from the
Funny as
gaming
hell too.
world. It's accurate and he's hilarious. Mooch, I'll dip in every once in a while just because it's got a very, it's got five, six different guys and I can get 20 minutes worth of listening and get just about everything every YouTuber is going to say anyways within that time frame. But
Right.
I just been eating up my time with what I normally do. Military stuff, which I love military, World War II stuff, gaming stuff. I'm watching documentaries, listening to documentaries, how this game was made. Another thing that I've been heavy into lately is story explained of Elden Ring or Mass Effect, the different endings,
Oh,
and
those are fun videos to get into.
just look, I love gaming, and one of the most frustrating thing about the gaming, amongst us is, and we went through this with Hellblade, is a couple of people talk negative about it, and now everybody talks negative about it, and out of all these people, only a handful of people played it. And that's
Hmm.
just so frustrating to me because it's like, dude, we have so many options to play games now. Subscribe to PS Plus, pay the minimum $10. Same thing with Xbox. Check it out. If you like it, buy it. If you don't, beat it, whatever. It's very accessible. Go to GameStop, get a used copy. You know, it's just I don't want gamers to miss out on a game that they might like because of what some fucking asshole said that didn't even touch it, but because his YouTube channel needs fucking viewers that day so he can get, drop some bombs and fucking pay his mortgage that month is telling you so. It's like,
Mm.
man, we have more games than ever before, high quality games than ever before. I mean, these games look like freaking movies with the combat, or the gameplay of like uh N64 game. Like it's insane, man. We're eating very good, and I just want to keep it more positive. I want to hear what you like. I don't want to hear about what you don't like. I want to hear about what you like. And unfortunately, the world doesn't like that. Negativity is what gets the views, and I'm not ignorant to that as well. But fill me in on the game that you played recently that you really love. Doesn't matter how big or small it is. And that's the shit that I want to hear about. And I'm not getting that from any of these gamers. I do want to give a shout out to Mystic Ryan. He's one of the only dudes who keeps it about PlayStation, gaming, what's coming up, what games are coming up. Sometimes he'll go into rumors, but not that really. And if he does talk about it, it's more like, hey guys, I've heard this. It's a 30-second conversation, and he leaves it at that. He does a segment where he'll buy games for a couple months and then he'll unbox them in front of you. He'll tell you how much he paid for them. Sometimes they're like PS2, PS3 games, Xbox 360 games, Game Boy Color games, whatever, but it's just straight up hardcore gaming. It's none of this gossip fucking bullshit about who Phil took out on a date to sign over here and how much money this and like that's just annoying.
So, speaking of talking about good things and what I'm excited about, because I do agree, there was a part of the interview that basically said uh, PlayStation wants to release one major AAA game a year. And then what that basically means to me is that your big heavy hitters, Insomniac, Sucker Punch, uh, Santa Monica, I'm gonna leave one out, Naughty Dog, the big five, I think is what I've called it before. I think there's five, and I always forget one. But those studios are going to be giving us one major game a year. Not from each one, but it's going to be on a rotation. Cool. That leaves a ton of room for PlayStation to continue doing their second party, not AAA, sorry, tentpole games. My bad. You're right. I should have fixed that. Tentpole games. That leaves us the rest of the year for their second party deals, for their smaller IP titles, for maybe a new title coming out. That leaves us a ton of time. And what I said in the Discord earlier, which by the way, guys, link in the description. You can join the Discord if you want to talk with all of us more. Uh, I really like it because PlayStation has shown me, especially with this year, like their second party deals are good
Banging,
second party deals.
banging.
Like we we are going to be fed extremely well with the understanding that at the end of the year they have a big huge title coming for us. It's going to leave their slate open so games of theirs aren't going to be competing with say another game like Hogwarts Legacy 2. Let's say they get the marketing for that again. Then they don't have to compete with, well, shit, do we put out Horizon 3? Do we put out Spider-Man 3 that close? Do we do that? No, no, no. We got this whole year open. It lets them do marketing deals. It lets them do their, that low cost entry like Falky was talking about last week, where you sign these second party deals, you come in, you help out, your investment's kind of low, but the game comes to your platform. It's exclusive to you. Like, those type of things are once they open up that, I think that that is sustainable and I think it's achievable. And one of the things, and Will, maybe you can, maybe you have a different thought on this. I actually think that that's knowing that this is their strategy now. I think that they purposefully have delayed a few games or let them sit in the polish tub for a little bit to get even more polished because, and I say that because it would make total sense to say, hey guys, at the end of this year, we're going to have this big game coming. Big tentpole. I know y'all are done with it, but the other studio that's supposed to be releasing next year is 2 years away. So they're going to need an extra 6 months, or they're going to need an extra little bit of time here. And so they pushed it back, filled in the gap with second party deals, and was like, this is going to work. This is going to. So, one of the next slides I want to show y'all is part of the reason why it works. And this is one of the things that I really enjoyed. It says stable base of revenue from major franchise titles with large share of ongoing content. They have EA, which is the FC. They have Madden, Grand Theft Auto 5, MLB The Show, NBA 2K, Call of Duty, Apex, Fortnite, Genshin, and Destiny. Like so the reason there's two reasons why they made it on this slide. One, they had to deal with the companies that they would put it on their slides or whatnot. Two, these are the companies or these are the games that make them the most filthiest of monies. And so they're saying, hey, listen, we're okay. We're fine. We got it. We had 51% revenue in 2021, 53% in 2022, and 51 in 23. Like that's not that's not a downward trend. That is a steady line. Then the big thing, and this is what Will cares about, you had 7,000 titles in 2021, 8,000 titles in 2022, and 9,000 titles in 2023. And yes, Josh, before you say I know that that's 9K plus, I get that. I get it. But that is a lot of games that we have to choose from. and they're all available to us on the PlayStation. It's freaking awesome. The other thing that I was really excited about, and Will, you can jump in whenever, man. The other thing that I was really excited about was the part of it that I caught with Herman. Uh, One, he said quality 3 times in like a 2 second period, and I just laughed because all I heard was Jez's show in the background, and Jez going quality, quality, and so that just made me laugh. But the biggest thing that he said was, we're not going to cannibalize with PC. We are going to put PC games, put our live service games on PC and PlayStation same day. The big titles, no, because they want to give the first title to PC, so that way when the sequel comes out, people will be incentivized to buy a PS5. It's it's almost like everything they do pushes people to the console. Huh, that's interesting. It doesn't push them to TV. It doesn't push them to buy this chair. It doesn't push them to no console required. No, everything that PlayStation does is meant to push people to the console.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was my favorite part of it all is how Herman um
Broke
he
hearts.
reassured that this is what we're gonna be doing, and that's great news because it shows that PlayStation is still their priority, right? Yeah, they want to make money. Yeah, they want to sell, a shit ton of software, but the single player narrative driven game is their secret sauce. And they recognize that, which that's why I said is a big reassurance because especially within the last few months and people talking about all the financials and things going to PC and that left me as a gamer wondering, well, what about my games? The single player narrative driven games. And he just reassured it and it put the importance that it does deserve because that is the foundation of PlayStation is the single player games. And using them strategically, how he said, is the perfect way to grow your brand, the perfect way to increase your income. And that was the biggest thing that excited me. But this whole one game per year, one big right 30 was one game,
One
one
tent pole game
10 point game per year.
a year.
The only thing about that is that I don't like is look, man, I eat games up, right? And I'm being selfish, but I'm a selfish gamer. A game like that will take me 2 weeks to beat. There's 54 weeks in a year, 52 weeks in a year. Like I I need more than one, bro. I need more than one. If we're not even including the holiday season where I'm off for at least 10 days of that month, like December, for example, I'm off for at least 10 days of those 30 days. I'll get that game done during that time. 2 to 3 weeks with my normal work schedule, being a single parent, all this stuff. I need more than that. So, how are you going to satiate that hunger from your core hardcore gamer? Do you do that by expanding on these games, meaning that now you're going to add on more content, the games will be longer, there'll be way more features? How are you going to offset that
I think they do it the
disparity
way they've been doing
between,
it.
well, if they do that, that's not going to be enough. Because look at Spider-Man, that was a 40-hour game, and that's me platinuming the game, getting absolutely everything. That's not enough. It's just
No,
not.
but in the yes, but they're not saying that we're not going to be getting other PlayStation
I know
Studio
that.
IP.
I know that. But they're tentpole. So that means basically they're best of the best. And those are the games that we as gamers really hunger for. Yeah, I mean, we can play games like Helldivers. We can play games, just like any other games they come out with. but we beat them, we move on and on to the next one. Those games don't have Helldivers may be a bad example because its longevity is, with that game for sure. But games of that size, games of that nature, they're just not they're not the main course. They're the nice appetite that we really love that goes very well with the main course. It pairs very well with the wine, but it's not the main course. It's not that tomahawk steak that we've been waiting in line at the steakhouse for an hour or waiting a month for reservations. So I don't know. It's just me thinking of my gaming habits, how much I game, what they're telling me, and how I'm reacting to it.
Yeah, so somebody, speaking of reactions, somebody on Zubitech's post, RGB said, "Yet we have goofs here saying PlayStation is in the same boat as Xbox, the same amount of profit as the four previous generations combined."
That's
What
crazy.
PlayStation did, three, four, five, nine is 14, no 13, no 14. I was right. Minus 4 billion from the PS3 era is 10 billion. Holy shit. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And what else is insane is we have been on here now for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Holy cow, time flies. Um, guys, Will, do you have anything to add? Anything that we talked about tonight? Anything that uh, you wanted to leave with? Anything like that?
Nah, just hit me up tomorrow after you guys are done watching the showcase. Let me know what you think. Oh, shout out to PlayStation for actually doing it at 5 p.m. my time.
Hell
Usually
yeah.
it's at 4 p.m. my time, and 4 p.m. is right when I get out of work. So I'm usually like putting it on the car while driving home or whatever. And yeah, I like to focus on it. So I'm in a crossroads. Like, damn, do I stay at work for an extra 30 minutes to watch this in peace, or like do I try to dip out of work 10 minutes early to try to get home? Like it's a clusterfuck. So shout out to them for doing it at that time zone. I know that it may fuck up other people's time zone, but hey, you guys been getting that time zone for a couple years now. Nice of us to finally get the 5 p.m. time, local time. So I'm excited for that. I'll be watching it here at home. I don't like to watch these showcases or any of these shows with like live streams, like guys talking and shit like that. That comes after. I usually watch it solo, watch it exactly how they meant it to us to see it, and then after later on at night, I'll then rewatch it with a couple of the guys. Like I'll watch it over Jess's channel or whoever and just kind of get their perspective, what they think, stuff like that. So after you guys are done seeing it, hit us, follow our Discord, by the way, guys. We have great conversations there and share your opinions on it, man. I'm excited to see what everybody thinks. I'm excited, good or bad, just to see what everybody's head is at, especially upcoming for the next couple months where we really don't know anything that's coming from PlayStation
I
except
know,
for
it's so
Concord.
exciting. It's so exciting.
I know, so I'm excited for that.
I'm so freaking ready. And I do know something that's coming. It's V Rising and the Astral Blade game. Um, both of
Is
those
the
were
Astro Blade confirmed
yes, it's
or
confirmed
something? You
this
guys have been
year.
talking about that like it's confirmed. I
It's
didn't know that.
confirmed this year. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, how
Uh,
nice would it be like fucking I mean it's not Xbox where they'll do a shadow drop because they don't know when to release a fucking game. But man, how nice would it be if it came out like soon, you know?
I think it's August, if I'm not mistaken. August or
Oh, that's
September, or maybe that's V Rising. I don't know. I get both of those release dates confused.
V
Uh,
Rising's next month,
V Rising's
the
next month.
16th or some
Oh,
shit like that, or the
so
6th.
it's the 16th. That's my wife's birthday. Mm. Look, honey, I bought you a game. No, guys, thank y'all again. Chat, y'all are awesome. Thank y'all for blowing it up all night long. Will, thank you for coming in. Sorry about the beginning. And we will see y'all later. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. We do this show every Wednesday night at 8:45, uh, even when I have a migraine, which was the dumbest thing I could have done. But anyways, guys, y'all have a good night and stay